Welcome, welcome back. After the last part, we just finished playing cards, sorta. I left the canteen. It was still too early to sleep, and a short walk looked like a good idea. Where should I head to? We are going to the scene, 'cause it might be a murder. The events of the past day kept flashing brightly in my head. That stupid, useless checklist, the foolish tournament. Tonight I had no intention of doing anything or talking to anybody. The investigation of my complicated situation was the last thing on earth I would do this evening. I headed to the north. At least where I thought it was. It was a habit from my youth to go north. I liked this part of my hometown more than the southern districts. Traveling to the Black Sea resorts was never my thing either. Boundless forests and fields were much closer to me than beaches and bark-ins. Several minutes later, an open-air stage consisting of several wooden benches and platform appeared before my eyes. I climbed onto the stage. So much varied music equipment, loudspeakers, a microphone, stand, and even a piano. I imagined a crowd of people in front of me, everyone screaming, shouting my name, myself blinded by the spotlight. I imagined a guitar in my hands, and attempted to play a long and striking solo. I suppose it looked pretty funny from a stranger's point of view. A weird guy swinging his arms on stage, jumping around like an ape and making faces. I hope no one can see me here. Hey! God damn it. That's the worst person who could... Well, no. Well, this is probably the worst. Piped up from somewhere above. What the fuck? I looked up and saw Yolana hanging over the beam under the stage ceiling.
And what are you doing?
I'm just... Denial is obviously futile. You saw it, didn't you? I said in frustration and turned away.
Oh, I see a wasted guitar talent in you.
I said nothing.
Hey, come on, don't frown. It was funny enough.
She giggled. Funny enough, eh? I huffed.
Yep.
Yolana answered calmly.
Come up here, dude.
Where to?
To me.
I ain't gonna get up there. Don't even try to convince me. Not that I have a fear of heights, it's just the climbing up there is pointless, isn't it?
No, just get over here.
I felt in my bones that something was going wrong, but still slowly headed her way. When I found myself standing under Yolana, she cried out,
Catch me!
and jumped. Oh, panties. The tale of the flying panties.
I never thought I would live through it.
Thousands of thoughts flashed through my mind in an instant. How would I catch her? Is it worth trying? What if she dies? What if she breaks something? Why the hell does this happen to me? Just catch her! She's not that big! That's her own fault. No more fooling around. Wow, what a number of thoughts come and go within the blink of an eye. When sometimes many years are not enough to come up with a single idea. At last, logic and self-preservation instinct won the battle and I stepped back. Aw, Semyon, that's mean. Yolana landed gently, tumbled, instantly jumped up to her feet and looked at me with offense.
Holy moly, why didn't you catch me?
You didn't get hurt, I answered, shifting my gaze.
What if I did?
But you didn't. What's up with you? Watched too many B-movies recently?
So you don't care about me?
She grinned. Well, in this situation, certainly I do care.
I'm flattered.
Hey, don't get any ideas.
Okay. You're forgiven by cards. For the cards.
And you are not. I had no time to finish the sentence. Yolana jumped off the stage and vanished in the dark of the night. Yep, one more childish trick from the silly girl. In fairness, I think she still owes us for putting all that spicy shit in her drink. Sure, I was worrying about her at the moment, as I would for anyone else in her place. After once again cursing Yulana in my mind, I headed towards my cabin. For the first time today, I finally felt how tired I was. There was no light in the window, so Olga must have been sleeping already. Strangely enough, she waited for me yesterday. I entered the cabin, quietly stripped and laid on the bed. When you think about it, my situation hadn't got any clearer today. In fact, I've spent the whole day doing useless stuff. I would never have even thought about doing something like this in the real world. Although I had plenty of time. How much time I would have here in total is still a mystery. Maybe an eternity. Or maybe there are only a few minutes left. I just didn't want to think about the past, about how I got to this camp. For the first time in a long while, I felt really tired. Not only emotionally tired, but also physically tired, psychologically tired, and God knows how else tired. I just wanted everyone and everything to shove off, starting with my own thoughts. I wanted this mess somehow resolve itself, or at least without my active participation. And what if I'm stuck here forever? Then I'll have to get used to it. So just like that, I'm not ready. My consciousness slowly drifted away from me, and it became progressively harder to concentrate on something distinct. Perhaps it's better to wait until tomorrow. I rolled over and fell asleep. Semyon is procrastinating a lot when it comes to figuring out how to leave this place. Oh well, day 3. The night left a feeling of anxiety behind. I woke up exhausted, both physically and mentally. It happens to me all the time. You see incredibly lucid images in your dream, as if you fell into a Hollywood blockbuster with a plot full of twists, well-paid actors, and multi-million-dollar visual effects, and then you wake in the morning without remembering a thing. That's what I was trying to do, to restore the images shown by my relaxed brain. But that part of my memory was empty, either archived or formatted completely. It's 7 a.m. according to the clock. I seem to be an early bird today. Olga was still sleeping, wrapped tightly in her blanket. Wrapping so tightly in a hot summer? I got up, stretched, and went to the mirror to have a look at myself. I'd better shave. Strange idea, before twice a month was enough, but now nothing depends on the way I look. I haven't found a razor anyway. Why do I even need it if I look like I'm 17 at most? So, breakfast can't start earlier than 9 a.m., and this means I have plenty of time, which I can spend on walking and washing, for example. The water didn't seem as ice cold as the previous day. On the contrary, its refreshing coolness helped me to brace up and come back to reality, whether all these events could be called real. The tooth powder didn't seem to be such an outdated thing. A quick thought struck me that it's not that different from toothpaste. When I continued to the cabin, Olga was already up. She was standing in front of the mirror and fixing her hair. "Good morning, Semyon." "Morning." Because of a lack of sleep, my head was still singing, and my thoughts were all jumbled together. However, I didn't regret waking up instead of my usual habit of sleeping in for 2 or 3 hours more. "How come you got up so early?" "It just happened." "And no neckerchief once again. Let me. I'll do it myself. Not a big deal. On my way to the canteen." "I don't think so. Do it now." "Did you forget about the lineup before breakfast?" "How could I ever forget?" "So what's the lineup going to be about today?" "We'll discuss the agenda for today." "So what's the agenda?" "Frankly speaking, I don't care for what might be on the agenda for our courageous pioneer troop. I was mostly interested in where our brave leader will send our little pioneer army for the following 12 to 15 hours. Maybe I can manage to avoid enemy locations." "You'll find that out at the lineup." She gave me a wily smile. "Olga, you know, my stomach is getting upset. I'd rather, well, you know. I believe that's okay to miss the lineup once. Could get all nasty if I fail to control it right here." "Where did all this courage come from?" "You have 5 more minutes." I'm afraid I need more time. Could you tell me right now, please? Sure, I'll try. But just in case it all goes down. Oh, fine. On our list for today is cleaning the camp locations, organizing the books in the library, some other minor tasks, and of course we have a ball in the evening. Watch yourself. You must take part in the camp activities today. You bet. Definitely, and now I'd rather... Come on, let's hit the road. I came out of the cabin and hid in the bushes behind it, waiting for Olga to leave. Actually, I didn't have any particular reason to behave this way, but the voice within me kept telling me that I have nothing to do with the lineup. After the camp leader left, I went back to the cabin and decided to wait for breakfast there. Well, I'm not planning on taking part in community life for today. Cleaning and organizing, that's not what someone in my situation should be doing. 2 days have passed, and I'm still right where I started. All the residents seem to be perfectly ordinary people. They weren't involved in any conspiracy, weren't communicating with aliens, and had no idea about time warps. Of course, each of them is a bit peculiar, but those peculiarities do not seem out of line at all. Moreover, if I had met any of these pioneers in my familiar world, I wouldn't suspect anything wrong. They seem to be even more normal and natural than let's say yours truly. This line of reasoning was quite logical. The illogical part was the absence of answers. Ordinary people in an extraordinary place. I've heard and seen that already somewhere. Dozens of pioneers, or even more, live their familiar lives and do their regular stuff day by day. They don't understand that the world around them is not what it looks like. Okay, but this is their point of view. As for me, I'm not acquainted with the world of the Sovyonok camp and its residents, even if they seem to behave the way normal people would under the same circumstances. I have to decide here and now, are those people involved in what's happening to me? Can they give me any answers? Or do I have to seek the truth elsewhere? It seems I overdid it a bit with the thinking. There's no usual crowd of hungry pioneers near the canteen. Or even inside the canteen. Most of them probably had their breakfast before 9 a.m. That's even better. 2's company, 3's a crowd. Lena was sitting in the farthest corner of the canteen, lazily picking with her fork at the amorphous lump that vaguely resembled porridge. Having a breakfast with her seems like a good idea. We can have a chat in peace, or at least try to have one. I was on the way to her table when suddenly somebody grabbed me by the sleeve. Zhinya, the librarian. Get your meal and come. We need to talk. What are you waiting for? I was a bit confused. Pardon, isn't this a bit too sudden? What's wrong? Get your meal and sit down. I suppose that she considers her behavior completely normal. I actually don't care too much in this instance. Meh. I'm not sure why, but I accepted the invitation. What if I can learn something new? She is such a bookworm. Minutes later, I was sitting in front of Zhinya, and the tray and the simple meal on it: porridge, 2 eggs, 4 pieces of white bread, a sausage, and a glass of compote. Bon appetit! Thanks. I decided to act as politely as I could, and also eat more neatly, without chomping and spilling crumbs of food, or drops of compote. So what do you want to talk about? Today at the library, I wasn't listening from this point onwards. I immediately recalled Olga's words about the scheduled events for today. Don't forget! Oh, what? I said don't forget to visit the library after lunch. What for? Were you even listening? Nope, I admitted honestly. Zhinya's face turned red, then appeared green, and took on a soft color purple.
Today, after lunch, you, in the library. Got it, dunce?
Dunce? What kind of curse is that? Though a pioneer must never use a curse word, how could I forget this rule? Oh yeah, sure, I apologize. Of course, I'll be there. Actually, I wasn't really planning to go anywhere, but if you want to make someone speak, you need to sacrifice a bit first. By the way, what year is it now? I totally lost count. I decided to play fair. She looked at me perplexedly and answered, "Have you gone completely bananas?" Honestly, that's how I felt for the last few days. Zhenya didn't reply. "So what year is it?" I smiled kindly. "Listen, why don't you visit the infirmary?" "Will they tell me what year it is there?" "Oh, certainly, and even more." Zhenya stood up and headed to the exit. "Wait, you didn't finish your meal, but it looks like she won't turn back." I was finishing chewing on the sausage, which tasted like a fucking twisted wire cable. I wonder if they have internet access here. Probably not. Guess not. A pioneer sitting at the next table noticed me talking to myself and stared at me. I smiled and waved to him in return. After such a friendly greeting, he, for some reason, left the canteen quickly without finishing his breakfast. Done with the food. It's time to search for some clues. Sometime later, I finally came to the infirmary. I have nothing to do in that place. Though the nurse seemed quite caring, it's better to keep a distance from her. Such benevolence is actually scary. She may know something, but I just hadn't the courage into the infirmary. Yeah, she'd probably rape you. Moreover, I had no reason to. Not a single one. Immersed in my own thoughts, I didn't notice the nurse, who was standing on the porch.
Hi there, pioneer.
She came closer.
You must be sick. Did you come for some medicine?
No, I was just wandering around.
Oh, a true one, I see. But if you're here, I have a serious task for you.
I gave her a look of inquiry. The word task made me feel uneasy. It sounded like something inevitable. The nurse smiled spitefully.
Both will help me take inventory of the supply of medicine, which arrived today.
Both? Who are we? Perhaps I misheard. But what word would be confused with both?
Hi.
Lena emerged from behind the nurse's back. It seemed strange that I hadn't noticed her until now.
Come here after dinner. I have explained everything to Lena.
Blah. Blah, blah, blah. It's not my fault. They have the same color. Mostly. Do they? Okay, it is my fault, but it's similar enough.
Come here after dinner. I've explained everything to Lena. She will tell you what to do.
Medicine, huh? Supplied today? But Olga told me that no bus would arrive in the next couple of days. So there were visitors to our camp today.
Yes. They arrived from the city this morning. Why are you asking?
Just curious.
All right then, pioneer. So tonight, after dinner, you'll be here. Maybe
Lena was barely noticeable this whole time. Surely she's able to remain invisible like a skilled ninja.
I could do it on my own. No way. There are lots of boxes. And a pioneer is always ready. Isn't that so, pioneer?
What the fuck are you blushing about? She gazed at me and smiled menacingly. I don't want to spend the whole evening doing something like this, and I've also got more important things to do. But rejecting this request would be really improper. If it wasn't Lena who was standing here, I would definitely think my way out. What's this first one? I guess it doesn't matter.
Nice. That's how a true pioneer should answer.
Even after these words, I barely came a step closer to the be prepared, always prepared motto.
Then you can go.
I looked at Lena, who was still staring at the ground. I guess all that time she was... I guess all that time she's been staring at the ground was enough to learn everything there is to know about the life and habits of different insects. Plus Lena likes to read, so she probably read Mini Biological. botanical, and so on books. Perhaps she wants to become an etymologist.
Where will you head next?
Lena's words drew me away from the obscure thoughts. We'd been standing at the square for some time, and my speculations about bugs' lives were only an attempt to escape this awkward situation. Though, why did I see it as awkward?
Just don't forget, alright?
Don't forget what?
Well, tonight after dinner, at the infirmary.
Her face got slightly grumpy look about it. No way, that's impossible. Alright, right after dinner, and I'm at your service. I thought too late. At my words, Lena blushed even harder. I need to find a way to ease this situation. Why did the nurse ask you to do it?
I don't know. I'm just sitting on the bench and reading a book when she came in.
It's smart to ask a reliable person who would never say no. Okay, well then after dinner.
Okay, I'll be off then.
Yeah, sure. She walked off somewhere besides the clubs, and I just stood at the square for some time. So what's next? I decided to visit my cabin in order to collect my phone. I don't know where I'll find myself today, but having a watch is always useful, though having a rich watch is much easier. Suddenly I heard a different tune, which was cutting through the usual noise of the camp. I listened to it carefully. Sounds like an electric guitar. I'm gonna end the part there. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later. Peace.